Howdy, beautiful people. It's Spencer Wood, the real estate cowboy. As always, Mr. Stump, Mr. Chili, and we are fired up to be down here in Charlotte, Maine today in Washington County. We're actually standing on the corner right now of Old Country Road, which is essentially going to be our right-of-way road to get into this 50-acre blueberry field with a 28 by 50 barn that's been rehabbed, or completely redone, I should say. And we got some amazing views up there, but we wanted to start out down here, Damon Ridge Road, Smith Ridge Road, a couple different names to it in some cases, but paved, public, maintained road, power up above. And then over here on Old Country Road is actually going to be more or less our driveway into the lot here, into our 50-acre blueberry field, lot 25-1 here in the town of Charlotte, Maine, Washington County. And you can kind of see what we're getting into here. So we got essentially a nice, it used to be identified as the Old Country Road. It was essentially abandoned. And the property, the road now essentially dead ends into the property here, which we'll get up there and check out in a minute. But wanted to start down here, show you guys essentially where the public maintained road with the year-round access is. And then we're gonna get up into the property through this road here. It's about a quarter mile up this road. You can pretty much see where the end of it is and where the property starts. So without further ado, let's jump in the truck. We'll give you a little tour of the road on the way up there, and then we'll get up into the goods. So we're headed up the Old Country Road right now. As I mentioned down on Damon Ridge Road, that it's about a quarter mile of road up here. It has a nice base to it. This will actually end up being completely patched up or repaired, the road in that sense, with NRCS money. So this is actually going to become a very, very nice gravel road. It's already in great shape, can easily get up here in your truck, can easily get up here in an SUV, could honestly get up here in a car, no problem as well. So it's only going to get upgraded from here. This is essentially the worst of the road in that sense. But this is your privacy kind of getaway out here. Once we get up to what you're seeing in front of us, it essentially dead ends into the property. We got a 50-acre blueberry field, 100% blueberry field that we're selling today, lot 25-1. So we're almost there. Stay tuned with us. And we're gonna be pretty excited to show you guys this property and all the hard work that the sellers have put into it. Alrighty, folks, welcome to your unbelievably gorgeous 28 by 50 barn here on lot 25-1 in the town of Charlotte. We just crossed into the 50 acres here as we're pulling up to the barn. And the first thing you're gonna notice about this barn is that it's been completely redone. All new, locally sourced cedar shingles on the side, all new trim, all new windows, all new roof. They did a bunch of stuff on the inside as well. But let's jump out. We'll give you a little bit more background on the property and we'll start getting into this barn. So we're up here at this absolutely stunning, completely made over barn. 28 by 50, big barn right here. New roof, new shingles, siding's all done, new windows. I mean, this thing is ready to go. Anybody that's looking to come out here into the small community of Charlotte, Maine, and take advantage of the recreational opportunities and the beauty that we're looking at right here. We're sitting at about 430 feet of elevation right here. Gradually goes up a little bit higher towards the top of the property and really gives you that panoramic view looking out across all the hills as far as the eye can see. But before we jump in here, I'll give you a little bit more about the town. So Charlotte, small town, less than about 500 people according to the 2020 census. We're only about 30 minutes away from Calais and the Canadian border crossing over there, which has, you know, plenty of groceries and all the amenities and stuff that you could ever want. You're also about 40 minutes away from Machias and the ocean and that kind of down east Washington County hub community that lies down there. And sitting about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, depending on who you are, to the Bangor International Airport up there. So nice little country location, you know, obviously quietly placed off this Damon Ridge Road down there. And pretty rare that you get an opportunity to see a barn like this. So why don't you guys follow me in here? We're gonna take the easy route and go into this first big garage bay door here that is on the side. And you're gonna look, as you come in here, you're gonna notice just how well set up this old barn was. So this was obviously hosting a lot of blueberry equipment, tractors, things of that nature to take care of all the fields out here. And the seller has completely meticulously gone through and rehabbed this entire thing and really restored it to its true beauty, which is just easy to kind of understand how awesome it is to have this out here. When you kind of walk outside, you see all the blueberry fields. This is all blueberry field right here. It's essentially 50 acres of blueberry field with this barn and tremendous views. So really cool opportunity to have a head start in a country location to take advantage of this 50 acres of views and blueberries. But first thing you're gonna notice in here, immaculately clean. You got this really nice poured concrete floor, held up in great condition. The windows are pretty much all brand new. They're all, you know, nice and tight. Everything is weather tight in here. The roof is completely brand new, so you're not worried about, you know, bringing in a camper or snowmobiles or four-wheelers and having anything, you know, get damaged with water or mold or something of that nature. So really, really cool opportunity to bring your toys up and have a little bit of fun. And as you cross into here, this is where the creativity is gonna kind of come into play with some of us. This is more or less what I'm gonna kind of consider to be like, almost like the residential side of this barn. So you can see they got the locally sourced live edge cedar, which smells awesome down here. You got the pine siding and all that. You got some outlets down here as well. So this used to be like an old kind of kitchen area when the blueberry harvest and everything was in full bloom out here. Many years ago. It's just now obviously being restored, but you can kind of get the idea of what this layout would be. You come in, you got a generator hookup or you got solar power, and you come in here and it just has that naturally, you know, homey feeling with this live edge cedar and the walls being here. So my kind of vision, this side here, you close off, you know, probably insulate this and really make this essentially your barn dominium. You know, like this is unbelievably set up for somebody to come in and take advantage of all the hard work that's been put into place. So you come up here onto the second floor. We just came up the stairs and you can already get the idea. Here's your wall here. Imagine kind of insulating this, finishing this off, putting the door here. But this could essentially be a big studio apartment, or you could put 2 bedrooms up here. Really let your creativity take away. You got these phenomenal views out the windows right here. Looking out, I don't even know how many miles that view is, but it is absolutely gorgeous out there. Seeing all the fall foliage, and for as far as your eyes can see, you got tremendous views everywhere. So come on over here, you essentially, you know, open the door here, come in, and then whammo, you got essentially another storage area, if you will. Could do something creative over here. You can see all the lumber and stuff that they've been using to kind of fix things up, and could continue that, just using it for lumber storage or hay or whatever you wanted to do if you had animals. Could make it another, you know, residential hangout area. And we got the huge garage door over on this side here as well. So could easily put in an excavator, tractors, camper, I mean, whatever. That door is probably 15 feet up of an opening. So it could fit a lot through that door there and down on into the base floor here. So this is your second floor. Love the vibes of this place. You know, unfortunately, I don't know the age of this barn. I'll try to do a little bit more research on it, but at the end of the day, you can feel the history, you can feel that country comfort and warmth out of this place, and so much potential in terms of what you want to do or create up here with your family, friends, and the memories that you'll have. So let's head on back downstairs. We'll go check out more of the blueberry field. We'll go up to the top of the property, do our best to show you guys how phenomenal these views are, and we'll kind of recap everything out there. So before we conclude the tour of the barn here, just wanted to take a moment and point out just the size of this big door here. This is about, we're thinking over 14 feet tall. So again, I mean, if you got a camper, you got a tractor, some equipment, something that you wanted to store up here to kind of get your roots going, you're gonna have plenty of space, plenty of storage to get things going. And you definitely got a lot of potential here to continue The upgrading of the blueberry fields. These are all blueberry fields. They've just recently been started to be brought back to life here. And we'll talk a little bit more kind of about the blueberries and about some of the potential work that will go along with the property to help upgrade things even more without costing you a dollar. So this is our last little flash down here. We're gonna jump in the truck and we're gonna drive all the way to the top to make sure that you guys can see the views that we have here on the property. But before we do that, as always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody's feedback on the videos. So we're up here off the Damon Ridge Road, lot 25-1. And we're looking at an asking price of $299.9. And we got annual property taxes of just over $2,800. I'll get you that exact number here in a little bit, but I think it's about $2,800 in annual property taxes. And you're sit back about a little over a quarter mile from the main road. It's dead quiet out here. So if you're looking for privacy and quiet and a place to really get away from it all, this is gonna be an amazing spot. So without further ado, let's jump in the truck. Let's go to the top of the property and we'll talk a little bit more about the NRCS work, the blueberries, and show you these phenomenal views. So what you see is what you get out here, folks. Essentially, the tree line that you're seeing in every direction is the boundary of the property. It really is almost like a perfect 50-acre square. Makes it super easy to understand your boundaries. Wherever there's a tree line is where your boundary is. And everything that's in front of us here, everything around us, this is entirely reclaimed blueberry fields. They were neglected for a number of years, but the seller, who's right up at the top of the hill here, is going to explain to you a little bit more about the blueberries, a little bit more about the NRCS work that will come along with this property. That is such a positive to go with this property because of how much money and value you're going to save and gain at the same time. And I don't know if you guys can see it with the bumpy road, but you will not beat these views. This is absolutely stunning. Panoramic views, at least almost 180 degrees, maybe more. And just absolutely stunning. Looking at all the fall foliage. You got all these interior roads from the past blueberry harvest that are in here that, you know, they're a little bumpy, but you could easily drive your truck, an SUV, anything really out here. These roads are in pretty great shape. And we will jump out here and start talking to the seller. We'll just ask a little bit more about the blueberries. We'll give you guys some information on that. And then we'll talk to you about the NRCS work and kind of what the seller here, Wallace Hall, for those of you that have been following our journey closely at United Country Lifestyle Properties in Maine, you will know Mr. Hall. So let's jump out and see what he's got to say. Okay, beautiful people, we are at the top of this 50 acres on lot 25-1 out here on the town of Charlotte, Maine. If you follow our page, you've probably seen this gentleman before, Mr. Wallace Hall, who's the seller of this blueberry land here and more or less a blueberry mayor in kind of these parts of the world down here. And he's an expert in the field and is the one that will answer any questions about blueberries. I don't know enough about him to tell you anything. But we are sitting at the top of the property here. We're looking at some unbelievably dramatic views up here. We're sitting at about almost 450 feet of elevation. You're looking at 180 degree panoramic views with really southwest to southeast views out here. If you're really into being off grid and wanting to do solar, stuff like that, perfect spot. They're gonna have a lot of sunlight, natural light here on the property. Number one, because it's a 50-acre field with pretty much no trees on it, but you've got this nice little elevation bubble. So before I go on too much about the views and all that, we got Wallace here. And one of the things I wanted him to talk a little bit about with the property is the NRCS work, essentially, that is gonna be put into this property at some point in a handful kind of years, whenever it gets approved here. We're going to be doing upgrades to the road and things like that, it sounds like. So if you can maybe tell us a little bit about what that NRCS money will do to the property.
Yeah, it's a farm service agency that's now, we work with them. What they do is you see rocks and hummocks and stuff like that. They pay us to come in and level it all because they don't want you burning to smoke the ozone layers and stuff like that. So we get the funding to do it. And that's what I do a lot of, is a lot of that funding. So it'll cost you a total of $0 to have all of this property that you can ride your car on. Well, now this piece has been put into the system. We're now in the queue to get it done. When they say your number's up, let's get at it, and we will. Meanwhile, we've cut all of the trees back down. We're making some major product, and we fixed the barn up. If you want to get up here and get into the country life and get involved in this stuff, it's a great tax write-off. It's a great environment. When we was cutting these trees last year, the deer was chasing the excavator right around November during the rut. And it's a great property. You get no neighbors.
Definitely no neighbors.
No.
And some of that, so some of this work, like we're looking, there's some big like rocks and boulders kind of all throughout the field here. So is that some of this NRCS work you guys will go through here and essentially pick these rocks and not really make a stone wall, but make nice big piles and stuff
we'll
like
pile them up off the edge of the field, and then you can harvest with a machine if you like instead of hand raking, or you can still have a hand. It's a pretty big piece to get done by yourself, so you probably got to either get a machine, or we use a lot of migrant crews in August and get it done.
And then that's something. So if somebody's interested possibly in being here, maybe doing some sort of homesteading or like hobby farming, and you're looking for some more advice on how to, upgrade the blueberries and kind of harvest and make a little bit of seasonal cash off of those, Wallace can definitely answer all your questions. If you got to the point where you do need some crews or a machine or something like that, I think you probably got...
We have them, yeah.
Got a couple of those.
Yeah. And I've also got, my son is in construction, and I can... pull his chain, get a little move up to the top of the list if you want a leaching field put in or a house built beside the barn or something. And we have all the connections for all of that to be done. And they do a very good job, and you could live out here off grid.
No problem, yeah.
No problem.
Solar, no problem. Or if you wanted to bring power down, you could probably figure that out. But I mentioned on the drive up coming off of Damon Ridge Road there, essentially kind of like the driveway. It's clearly, you put a couple patches in there to get up here, but as a part of that funding, that road will...
They will pay to have the road ditched, culvert, graveled. The hurricane that we had, supposedly, they deemed it was a big one up here in January, and they came up with more funding to take care of all of that. So again, that's also going to come when they hit the bell and say, get at it, that road work is going to come with it. So your road will be all completely new. And along with the blueberry field, it's just when they call, which I expect it in the next 2 to 3 years, we will be going to work on this.
Yep. So pretty much a 2 or 3 year leniency period to get all this kind of the work and the funding here to upgrade this property and make it essentially a brand new blueberry field, if you will, ready to rock and roll in that sense, but also giving the new owners unbelievable access into a rare opportunity up here on the side of this hill. And I know for a fact that it's not showing how gorgeous these views are, but I'm telling you right now, you come here and you check this property out, you go into that barn, you come up here and you look at, this side of the world, if you will, and it'll be hard to leave this one. And again, if you got any questions about blueberries, you got questions about construction down here, because it is far away for a lot of people, Wallace is going to be essentially your point person. You can depend on his advice on the blueberry front, all the way to putting in a septic or figuring out how to get somebody up here to plow if needed and things like that. So as always, we appreciate you taking the time to show us another stunning piece of property that you got down here. And
it's obvious that I'm underdressed. So if we do this again, and it's my second time with Spencer here, I've got to get a cowboy hat. So excuse me for being a little redneck there. But,
well, whoever buys it will fund Wallace's new cowboy hat. That'll be a promise. Maybe we'll get a little signage on there. But, appreciate you taking your time today. We're going to walk around the fields a little bit more with everybody, show you some other sections of it. But overall, you got an amazing opportunity here, lot 25-1 off the Damon Ridge Road, Charlotte, Maine, Washington County. 50 acres of blueberry fields with unbelievable views, with privacy and anything that you could want out here in the country. All righty, beautiful people. It's that time in the tour where we're gonna have to say goodbye. But before we do, let's recap everything. We are sitting on lot 25-1 off of Damon Ridge or Smith Ridge Road in the town of Charlotte, Maine in Washington County. We have a 50-acre blueberry field with a absolutely stunning 28 by 50 foot, completely redone barn from the roof to the outside shingles to stuff on the inside. You have an amazing head start with that. You have unbelievable panoramic views everywhere. You got a tremendous southeast to southwest facing view. So for those of you that may be interested in solar, you have an absolutely great opportunity to have a homestead up here running completely off solar year round, no problem. Great recreational spot, hunting, fishing, a lot of big lakes right around here. Some of the best trophy waters in the world are actually right down the road from here. 30 minutes away from the Canadian border, 40 minutes away from the ocean, hour and a half away from the international airport. We're looking at a asking price of $299,900, annual property taxes of about $2,800. And as usual, feel free to give me a call with any questions, comments, concerns. And until then, we'll see you on down the road. Giddy up.